Welcome back everybody. Today we're going to do a how-to tutorial on how to clean and lubricate your HK MP5 or clone variants. This one here is a clone, but it will be applicable to all of them. So without any more yapping from me, let's go ahead and get into it. Before we actually get into cleaning the firearm itself, I want to just kind of go over what we're using here. It's definitely not any high-tech stuff, very simple stuff. We have our used toothbrush here. We have our tipped-in polymer pick. I really do like these because they don't scratch any metal up as opposed to, say, steel ones that are out there on the market. And then we have break-free CLP. In both of these, this says Slip 2000, but it's not. It's break-free CLP, just repurposed in there. Then we have an Otis cord here because if you have your standard pistol cleaning kit, some of them won't work with that roughly 8-inch barrel that you're going to have in your MP5 variants. And then we have some patches here. These are just cut up pieces of t-shirt, but you can order 9mm or 30 caliber patches if you choose to go that route. And then we have a rag, and that completes the high-tech kit out here today. All right, so for disassembly, first thing we want to do is make sure that the weapon is unloaded. We're going to pull back. View, there is no round in the chamber and there is no magazine. So at this point, we are clear. So we're going to push out our pins, and you can do either one, really. It doesn't matter first, but I think the rear is just kind of easier and more logical. Take off this. In this case, this is a brace, but some of you will have a stock. Some of you will have just nothing, just an end cap on there. At this point, we can remove our trigger guard, and on this particular gun, it's tight. On most of them, it's not, but this one here, this AP5, is super, super tight. So pull that down, and there is our trigger mechanism and housing. And pull back here on our charging handle, and our bolt assembly will come right out. At this point, if you want, you can also take apart your handguard. If you want to clean under there, you don't need to, but you can. And that's how you do it, just pushing those pins through. At this point, we are fully broken down for disassembly here, for the main parts anyway. Now we're going to look at our bolt, of course. And it all sticks together when you first pull it out. But basically what you're going to want to do is pull it and then rotate it, so that way this piece here slides out. You pull it all the way forward. Probably did that too fast. Pull it all the way forward and then just turn it, then it'll come out. And then we have this piece here, and then our trigger, our firing pin. And at this point, we are broken down for general purpose maintenance. You can pull your extractor spring, but just know you'll have to replace it with a new one if you do, but typically you don't have to do that unless you're going through some high round counts. The next step in the process for me is I take all of the parts and just spray them down with some CLP, get a little bit on there. Obviously these parts here are very easy to clean, but the back here on our carrier is going to be a little bit rougher. So spray that in there, and then I'm going to spray some here inside of our receiver, and just a little bit, so I want to get in there in a second. With our toothbrush, we got some stuff to work around, and we're just going to start brushing it, loosening up all of those carbon deposits that are on there. Again, the material here on our bolt obviously is very, very easy to clean, but we'll loosen all of it up and do that for all of the parts. And inside of our receiver, obviously we want to pay kind of special attention there to the chamber. I don't think you guys can see that from your angle, but it's right in there. You want to make sure that's good and carbon free for good feeding. And now we're going to take a patch and just work all of that carbon off of all of the pieces that we just wipe down with it. On our bolt here, it's nice to have that pick to kind of get into the grooves, and then also it allows you to very easily get into underneath your extractor, which of course is going to be important. We don't want an extractor that doesn't have the ability to snap over that case of a cartridge. So you want it to be, clean under there, so that way it gets a good hold on it and extracts the round properly. And just basically putting that tip of the pick up under it. That's how we do it. And throughout the video, the question of how clean is clean will probably come up. For this gun, the MP5, it doesn't need to be spotless or anything like that. These guns run really well, even when dirty, but if you want to get it spotless clean, that's up to you. Feel free to do so. We're just going to do a basic kind of wipe down here for video purposes today. And I'm going to work back through here on our carrier where everything goes into. Make sure you get all that crud that's in there out of there. The receiver area is obviously pretty darn large, so I actually think it's easier to do with the actual toothbrush. Just kind of get it in there and get all that carbon that's in there going. And then when we get into our chamber area here, I'm going to kind of work it with the pick. Make sure we get all of that stuff on our feed ramp. And after that, once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and run it down the barrel. And make sure we got a little bit of CLP on there. And insert it here through the wire. And just run it down the barrel. And again, how clean you want that patch to come out on the other side, that's up to you. I should note actually on this particular gun, we have a threaded barrel as well as the tri-lug. So in that case, I do recommend just at least brushing it off to keep that area clean. Carbon to make sure your silencer is going to go on there nice and snug, or whatever muzzle device that you happen to be running. Now we're going to move over to our trigger housing here. And again, basically just going to spray some CLP on there and brush around everywhere we can get to. One thing with any gun that has springs on it, like obviously we have a bunch here in our trigger group. What I always say when cleaning a gun is for basic field maintenance, again, you're not like an armorer at this level. Anywhere that you can't get to, it's designed that way and it's okay. So don't go prying and pulling on springs and stuff like that. Again, they designed it so that way you didn't have to do that for normal operation of the gun. And then I'll just take the pick and sort of work in everywhere that I can get to. And if I can't get to it, just move along. For the reassembly, we're just going to do everything basically in reverse. I am going to put a little bit of CLP on our locking device here. Unlocking device rather, and we're going to basically put this through and into our bolt. Of note, it doesn't go both ways, so it'll only go one way, so you'll know you're doing it right. So we're going to put it in there, and we're going to come back here to our carrier, and again, this little cam piece here has to be down to match up with that, and we insert it. And now what you have to do is this roller here, you have to depress that, and then you're going to be turning this piece into it. If you don't depress that roller, it's about impossible to do. And there you go, just like that. So our bolt is back in place. At this point, basically all of the surfaces where anything rides on, we're going to add some CLP. So you can start to see some wear on this gun. This gun's relatively new. If I pulled out one of my old full auto MP5s, you guys would see a lot of wear on there. But this one, again, relatively new, relatively low round count, but all these pieces here where everything rides, that's where you want to have your lubrication. And now with our bolt all together and lubricated, we're going to go ahead and insert it. So you have to kind of depress your rollers down and, and slide it on home. And there you go. For our trigger group here, basically all I do is add a little bit of lubrication here on the trigger, any wear parts that you see here, like on this bar right here, and then a little bit of oil on your springs that you can see that are exposed. And we're good to go with that. So we can put that back on there. This particular gun, we didn't have any sort of overwhelming cleaning needs up there on the front, but if you had corrosion or something like that under your barrel, good time to wipe it down would be now for sure. And we'll just throw that one back on there as well while we're at it. As you can see, it has this lip here on the back. So we're going to put that in and then push it up. And put our pin in. And then we're going to get our end piece, whichever one you have, stock, brace, nothing, whatever it is. Put that one back on there as well. Like so. I've heard arguments saying that pin direction matters. I've shot a lot of MP5s for a long time. I've never seen it matter. So now what we're going to do here is if you have any oil coming out, anything like that, just make sure you wipe it on down. And we're going to do a quick functions test here with the gun. We're going to run the action, let it go, try to fire, attempt to fire, does not fire, it should not fire. put it on fire, point in a safe direction, pull the trigger, it fires. Now we're going to run the action while maintaining the trigger pressed to the rear. The trigger should reset. It does. Again, put on safe, attempt to fire. It does not fire. So we are good to go. We have cleaned and lubricated our MP5 series gun. Pretty simple process, as you guys saw. Some folks get hung up there on the bolt, but it's not that hard once you do it once or twice. And that's really all I got for you guys in terms of the cleaning and lubrication. If you like what you see here, definitely hit the subscribe button. You can also follow me on all the various social media sites that you see here on your screen. Generally speaking, if something like this goes on sale or any of the cleaning supplies go on sale, we'll post it up there for you guys to take advantage of. We also have a email where all of the videos since the last one go out roughly once or twice a month. That one goes out. Then we also have a daily deals email, which, as the name implies, is daily deals on guns and gear, those sorts of things. That email is here on your screen if you guys want to sign up for that one. And we are also now, our content is over on the Warrior Poet Society Network. My content is free, but they also have premium content, which is really, really good. It's like a TV channel in terms of quality, but the content is better because it's stuff that gun guys like. That's my opinion on that one anyway. And there's also a 10% discount code down in the video description if you guys are interested in that. And this time for real, that's all I got for you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Look forward to seeing everybody in the next video.